What is up, everybody? I'm back with another video, man. Today we're gonna be reacting to everything the 2021 NBA playoffs has proven so far. Part 2. See into it, bro. Oh, but hold on. By switch out, you know what I'm saying?
All right, man.
Bro, why is the quality
I
like
know a
that?
lot of y'all been blowing me up about all the stuff that happened in the second round, wanting me to make a video fast and all this stuff. And trust me, y'all know I got y'all. Like I'm gonna drop these videos. Sometimes I like to sit down and put something together for y'all, so you know it can really be special. The semifinals of this year's playoffs. It's been the most weirdest up and down
Crazy thing
semifinals that
ever.
I can personally remember. 3 of the top 4 semifinal teams that led after 3 games, they all lost. Like, they literally all lost. And 2 of them, they had 2-0 leads. Now, I ain't gonna waste too much of y'all time. Y'all waited long enough. So let's just unwrap all this stuff and dive into that second round.
What were sort of the factors that made Phoenix specifically such an attractive trade destination for you?
Obviously, Book had a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? Book and the young pieces, obviously DeAndre Ayton. But then mine.
Hey, yo. Okay. How the video turned off his
The
own.
Phoenix Suns are actually in the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 11 years, and they have
In
a great chance
11
to win it all.
years.
I'm gonna just start with Devin Booker, bro. Like Devin
He been
Booker
going
was
crazy.
just made for this, and you can see it in his demeanor, his swag, his attitude. Like he was built for these moments. This man, in his first playoff series, he went crazy even after the MVP of his team was hurt, and he clearly wasn't himself.
And he just
I don't
smacked him
care
in the face
that
with the
Anthony
ball,
Davis
bro.
didn't play in that
Okay.
game 6. I don't care that LeBron wasn't himself and he was injured and all that stuff. LeBron had an unreal, unbeaten record in the first round, and he had a crazy resume from when he was down in series. I made a whole video talking about how dangerous he is when he's actually trailing. Devin Booker didn't care about none of that. He didn't give that
47,
team
3,
pretty much a
11,
chance to
15,
even
22,
sniff a
8%
comeback.
from
And mind
3.
you, they're the
Yeah,
defending
he
champions, and this
wildin'.
team doesn't even have like an ounce of championship DNA. He didn't care about none of that, and he dropped 47 and sent their ass right home. Now,
Facts.
even though that was in the first round and this video is specifically about the second round, I say all that to say this. A lot of people used to be very critical of Devin Booker because we all know what the stigma used to be. He puts up these great numbers and his career has this great trajectory with stats and all this stuff, but he doesn't elevate his team and his team doesn't win. In fact, even in his biggest game, the 70-point game, but he doesn't elevate his
Jokic.
team and his team doesn't win. In fact, even in his biggest game, the 70-point game, y'all know he lost by 19 points in that specific game, right? Like that's pretty much the story of his career, that one game. I even made a video in 2019 talking about Devin Booker because, bro, his teams
Ain't
were
gonna lie, dropping 70 points in your team losing, that's really bad. I can't lie.
very underwhelming. That specific video that I made that offseason, it looked like they won the offseason. They drafted DeAndre Ayton, they stole Mikal Bridges, they got Trevor Ariza, they got Jamal Crawford, and yet they still got
19
worse.
and
It was like I didn't
63.
even
Oh my
understand it.
God.
The criticism Devin Booker used to get at that specific time, it was warranted, and this is exactly where Chris Paul, this is where he comes into play. As good as Devin Booker was/is, I don't think he was that generational talent that could carry garbage pieces like a LeBron, like a Luka right now, like Harden in his early stint in Houston and all that. So he needed a Chris Paul, and there's nothing wrong with that. Also, the Chris Paul acquisition, it just shows how significant the offseason and free agents and trades, how significant it really is. It literally
Facts.
runs the NBA. The draft, you know, it's cool, it's cute, it's commendable and all that stuff. But if you don't have a top 3, top 5 pick, typically it's just the icing on the cake. This league is ran by GMs and pretty much the teams they can put together to attract stars, period.
Facts.
Literally, 8 of the last 9 NBA champions, they've had one significant offseason move, either that past offseason or the year prior, that pretty much contributed to them winning that championship. So it's everything. The Clippers and the Jazz. I know everybody's rushing to call the Jazz the 2015 Hawks, but I still can't get with that. Like I still disagree. I feel like everyone's forgetting a major piece in all this. Yes, the Clippers, they missed Kawhi Leonard for the last 2 games of the series, and I know all that stuff. But do y'all know the Jazz, they missed Mike Conley for damn near the entire series? Did y'all forget that? Mike Conley was a significant piece as far as playmaking, ball handling, and perimeter shooting. And unfortunately, this has been Mike Conley's career. Like pretty much for the last 5-6 seasons, this has been Mike Conley.
I ain't gonna lie, that's
This
bad.
man has missed 13 playoff games out of his last 38. And to be honest, he's deterred his teams
13?
and pretty much stopped what they could have been. And it's unfortunate, but it's Mike Conley. Also, Rudy Gobert. I know I was hard on him on my second channel and all that stuff, but to be honest, bro, it was deserved. In my opinion, and I know Utah fans gonna hate me, I don't plan on going to Utah ever in my life anyway, so I don't care. He should be banned from winning that award. He should never win another Defensive Player of the Year ever again. Yes, he's a great rim protector, and I don't want to ever get that misconstrued because in the regular season, he has been and is valuable. But if a team can go strong and pretty much stretch you out like the Clippers did in Game 6, what the hell is your value? You get paid $200 million because of one side of the ball, and
Bro.
you are a liability on that one specific side of the ball. And what your forte is, like I just said, is rim protection. You can't let a team go 12 for 15. Terrence Mann, Nicholas Batum, Paul George, everybody going in your chest like you
Yeah, that's
paper,
bad.
and you the defensive player of the year, and you get paid $200 million. Also, I want to talk about Paul George. A lot of people were very hard on him, to me unnecessarily, in the beginning of this playoffs. Literally, even when Kawhi was having bad games, or even if Paul George had a slightly better bad game than Kawhi Leonard, it was still all Paul George's fault, and I just didn't understand that. Nevertheless, at least in this series, he lived up to that contract and he avoided too much scrutiny. Look at what Paul George averaged in the last 4 wins after falling down 0-2. And look at what he averaged in the last 2 games. I know Terrence Mann, Reggie Jackson, all those players were
Pandemic
huge.
T
But he
stepping
was the
up,
one that was
okay.
leading them, so give him his credit for that. The Milwaukee Bucks, they just did what looked to be the impossible, at least for them. Just a quick disclaimer for all y'all in my DMs sending me these crazy hateful messages and all this stuff, which I don't even understand. Obviously, it's a bunch of new people. Just because I picked the Nets to win, and just because I have the profile picture with me having a Nets jersey on, simply because of D'Angelo Russell being my favorite player that I've had since 2018, it doesn't make me a Nets fan. Please stop saying my Nets lost. I'm a bandwagon, all this stuff. I don't like the Nets. I thought they were going to win, and I picked them. My jersey is because of D-Lo. Yeah, all my real ones, y'all know that.
Facts.
Now, Kyrie Irving got injured in Game 4, and I think we all can see.
Bro, Kyrie, bro. I mess with you, bro, but you gotta do something about that, bro. Ain't nobody rocking the afro in 2021, bro. You gotta get some twists, curl it, do something, bro. It is not the 1700s, bro.
It just completely turned the series around. In the last 3 games, Kevin Durant averaged damn near 30 shots per game, the most he's ever averaged in a 3-game stretch in his whole playoffs career.
43
That was
points
almost
per
equivalent
game.
to Russell Westbrook in 2017 playing by himself when he averaged 30. Like that's what Kevin Durant was doing. Also, in the last 4 games, and I want you to really hear this one, the Bucks and the Nets, they played 197 minutes of playoff basketball. Kevin Durant being guarded by a stout, sturdy football playing ass PJ Tucker,
Jesus,
Drew Holiday,
hey,
we
your
know how good
head,
he is,
bro.
Chris Middleton, we know how good defensively he is, and Giannis and
Bro, KD, bro. This is not it, bro. This is not it. Please do something, please.
Brook Lopez at least guarding the paint and all that.
Like, oh my
Rim
God.
protector. He played a total of 182 minutes of that 197. Literally only got 14 minutes of rest, the most by far of anybody in that series. Also, James Harden. I know James Harden is getting crucified for his play because of his history and things like that.
Facts.
But let's be honest, bro. He was injured, and that contributed to him being a complete disaster. His playmaking, I mean, it was decent at best, but it was limited because he really couldn't do what he wanted. He's best with that dribble penetration, with the whole defense being petrified of his scoring because he's
That
such a
was a
great
good
three-point
pass. That
scorer.
was a real
And that
good
opened
pass.
up everything for his teammates. But he couldn't even do that because he couldn't even get to the rim. In those last 3 games, I don't understand how anyone can condemn him and all that stuff because he was out there on one leg playing 46 minutes a night. And let's be honest, all he can do is be a decoy and flop and fall his ass to the free throw line and hit free throws. Like, that's all he could do. Last but definitely not least for the Nets, bruh. Joe Harris. I cannot believe how bad this man was for those last 5 games. Like, that was honestly the biggest choke job I've ever seen from a quote-unquote sharpshooter. This dude literally led the league in 3-point percentage. He had idiots on Twitter saying he's actually better than Klay Thompson, bro. Klay Thompson. I know this graphic right now is disrespectful. I shouldn't even be doing this. But look at Klay Thompson's last year in the playoffs, even without Kevin Durant. Look at his last year in the playoffs against the Toronto Raptors, guarding Kawhi Leonard, basically out there with just Steph, him and Draymond and Andre Iguodala. And look at what he did against a great defensive team. And look at Joe Harris. I don't care how great this man shot in the regular season. Don't ever put this man in the same conversation with Klay, Ray Allen, nobody, bro. Until we do it in the playoffs, I don't know what the hell a Joe Harris is. Now, let's address this series from the Bucks side. People on both sides of the argument, bro, on both sides, they take the whole Giannis skill thing and they blow it way out of the proportion, bro. Like way out of proportion.
23% from
on
three
one
is
side,
so
you have
bad.
people that say Giannis, he has absolutely no skill as far as basketball. And I feel like we all have to know. They have to be trolling, right?
Yeah.
And on the other side, you have Giannis stans and Bucks fans that will hear something like Giannis isn't as skilled as, say, an Anthony Davis. And they automatically believe that means Anthony Davis is way better and you're discounting a 2-time MVP. Please let me explain my personal stance and please just listen to it. When it comes to players like Shaq, Dwight Howard in his prime, and Giannis, skill does not equate to success. Anthony
Right.
Davis, and it's going to hurt some people, I don't care. Anthony Davis, Jason Tatum, James Harden, Kevin Durant. All of those players are more skilled offensively than Giannis. Does that mean they're better, excluding Kevin Durant because I think he is? Does that mean they're better? No. Kevin McHale, Nikola Jokic, DeMarcus Cousins, Joel Embiid. I think all four of them are more skilled bigs than Shaq. Does that mean they're better? No.
No.
I think there's more skilled offensive scorers than LeBron James, and LeBron is probably going to be the all-time leading scorer when it's all said and done. Does that mean they're better scorers ultimately than LeBron?
No.
What matters most is effectiveness and who gets the job done better doing their specific style, whether it's bully ball, whether it's finesse, whatever. Who gets the job done more effectively, more efficiently, and most importantly, when it matters most. A lot of big freak of nature talents with these crazy physiques and these crazy God-given frames and crazy builds and all this stuff, they haven't maximized their talent. So you have to
I ain't
give
gonna
players
lie.
like Shaq.
That's a lot of achievements for him to be in 3 years. That's a lot of achievements, bro. I can't lie.
Dwight Howard, Giannis credit because they maximize the stuff that you can't teach. So it doesn't mean just because they're not the most skilled, they're not valuable. When it comes to players like Giannis, skill does not equal value. It doesn't at all. Now, with that being said, what did a player like Shaq, even as dominant as he was, what did he have/need on his team? A Kobe Bryant, a D Wade, a Penny Hardaway, pretty much that late game closer and that situational player down the stretch that you need when Giannis and Shaq, when their skill set plateaus. Giannis, even being as dominant as he is, I truly believe he's the most dominant player since Shaq. You can have measured best player and your most dominant, pretty much killing the other team throughout the game. But late game down the stretch, you're crazy if you ask him to do something outside of his skill set and be like a Kevin Durant or LeBron. You crazy. As I said on Twitter, that's where your $300 million plus investment in Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday, that's where it comes in. I hate to call Chris Middleton Kobe, but you're going to have to be Kobe-like for Giannis, who's Shaq-like. You're going to have to be that guy. If they don't get that, they don't win. Giannis is always going to be somewhere around 30 points, 13 boards, and 5 assists. Always. You're going to need that Chris Middleton, Jrue Holiday help, and that's why you paid them. Now, let's get to the player where the skill comment really applies. I'm not even going to get, on Doc Rivers because in my last video, I said enough. I have like 3 or 4 videos trashing Doc Rivers. Y'all know how I feel about Doc Rivers. So if you don't know my stance, watch my last video, go Google it, YouTube, whatever, because I've said enough. I want to talk about Ben Simmons. Here's where the skill comment really applies. Giannis, he doesn't have a great perimeter game, but it doesn't really matter much because he dominates in the area he belongs in, and he has a team built perfect for him to do so. Hence why they have a Brook Lopez and a Bobby Porter and a PJ Tucker to pretty much be spot-up bigs. Ben Simmons, especially on that team, his value offensively is minuscule, like it's pretty much no value. The only time he truly has value on that team is on the fast break when he has a full head of steam or when Joel Embiid is out and he can hit free throws. Like, that's it. outside of that, bro, you're playing 4-on-5 80% of the time in the half court. And all the Sixers fans that's, still defending Ben Simmons and all that because of what he did in the first round and all that, bro, it means nothing if he can't do it in the crunch time, the true crunch time of the NBA playoffs. I want y'all to look at Ben Simmons, his first round playoff numbers, bro. Look at this for his career. This is his first round playoff numbers. He had a great series against the Heat. He killed the Nets with Jared Dudley was talking trash. He had a great series against the Wizards this year. He always dominates in the first round. Then look at his second round numbers. This is why they have to trade him. I like Ben Simmons. I like his talent, but he's a waste on that team with Joel Embiid. It's just never going to work. It's a shame. It's a shame that they couldn't get off his contract when they had the chance, and they could have gotten James Harden. Like, I know Tyrese Maxey was the determining factor, and they didn't want to lose him, and I like Tyrese. He was one of the more consistent players in that series. But I don't like him enough to keep Ben Simmons on what's looking to be a bad contract. Like, it's tough. It's tough. Listen to me when I say this. If you guys like this video, like this video. This video took a long time. I know y'all like the longer videos, and they do take work. So if you like them, like the video. It motivates me to keep going. Like the video if you like the video. Like I said, man, it's been a crazy second round. All this up and down stuff is crazy. Make sure you guys follow my social media sites. Turn on post notifications. Do all that great stuff, guys.
But yeah, bro, that's gonna be the end of the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe, and we out.